is the Dreaming Away Tarot by Rome Choi. It's been out for a while. It's a really nice artsy deck published by US Game Systems. And it's still in print. You can see this one's copyright 2012. And this one is actually was printed December of last year. There's a little code on it. It's a really interesting deck for a couple reasons that I like when I'm looking at tarot decks. Let's see. All these cards. Oops. There we go. Put the cards where they should. The backs are really interesting. I wouldn't say they're reversible, but if someone's not really paying attention, they're reversible. We have two cards. We have the title card here. Oops. Yeah. And we have about the author and the artist. Rome Choi is the author, and Quan Shina is the artist. I'm experimenting with a new light on my camera, so we'll see how it goes. And there's the LWB. 39 or so pages. And this looks like it is the... This one's copyright 2012. So let's look at the deck. Typical US games, they're nice and smooth and cut. They slide well, you know, standard stuff. Standard gear. Fool. We have a little dog, not nipping, but I love this strange headdress and knapsack, and it does look like a feminine character, but it could be androgynous. We have a cliff, a barren cliff. There's like flowers tucked in the sock. Yeah. The Magician kind of looks like anime. We have the cup, pentacles, the sword, and the rod. The High Priestess, the Torah, and the moon. Kind of a schoolgirl's outfit, but I love the invented fashion. I think that's really neat. Here we have the Empress, we have the wheat field, a heart, the Emperor. These cards remind me of a story when I was in, oh gosh, second grade. It was illustrated really strangely. It was called something like How to Pick a Favorite Rock. And the artwork was, I think it was done in watercolor. It was so beautiful, but so different, because everything, it was about picking a rock that, no, like just a rock, random rock, but why you would pick it. It was neat story. I actually read it before I was supposed to read it because I just liked the artwork of the story. This really reminds me of that. The Lovers. Strange with his butterfly wings. Chariot. I like the two different horses and the color there. This seems like it could be almost a feminine deck. There's definitely like a female forward vibe to this. Strength. You have the little infinity sign there. Again, the clothes. And some of the characters, they sort of seem a little elongated. And one of my favorite animated shows is Aeon Flux, and I love just love the way they're drawn. And these remind me, is that the Hermit? Wheel of Fortune is a spinning wheel, but if you look, looks like it's all tangled up. This kind of reminds me of the Fates. With the thread. There's three of them. Here's Justice. reclined with a sword, but notice not holding the sword like it's supposed to be and holding it down. Got the, and also the weird way the scales are being held, the Libra scales. The Hanged Man. Does this look like a man? No. It looks like it's wearing a corset. Again, a feminine take on things. Death is a woman. The colors are very nice. Temperance. And the cups. There's the Japanese artist who always does polka dots. She has a really severe haircut. I forget her name. That's what the cups remind me of. The Devil. The Tower. Here we have a sort of a Tower of Babel-esque looking thing. Are there any figures? No. I don't see any people in the tower. I like the color of it though. It really, you know, kind of conveys something. The Star. I love her haircut. The Moon. This is an interesting take on the moon with the crayfish, huge crayfish, and playing with it while the moon is in the background. But no dogs. No towers. The Sun. A baby with a lollipop. And sunflowers. No real sun, but clouds. Judgment. Jugement. The World. A man sleeping. Ivy behind him. And here we have, so the suits are pentacles and wands, cups, and swords. So typical standard. So let's look at them briefly, quickly. Luckily they're pictorial, so they're not too, love that beautiful landscape. Very nice. They're not too crazy boring. They're not too Marseille. Pointed shoes. The fashion of these characters is really strange and interesting. And it's almost, they're timeless. I think that, you know, it could be somewhat, maybe seen as somewhat modern, but also somewhat more ancient. Frilly. Not quite Victorian, but kind of medieval. These bags look very modern, though. There's those pointy toe shoes. I used to know what they were called. Supposedly the pointier they were, like the more money you had, because they weren't very conducive to work or even walking. And then they kind of died out of fashion. All those grapes. The striped hose. Okay, so we have page, knight, black horse, the queen, the baby, and the king. So pentacles and earth, so we have sort of all things rooted in earth. And then we have ace of wands. Two of wands. Nice rainbow. Pointy toe shoes. Four of wands. Very nice. Again, they look almost very gender fluid, especially this character, the male. nice greens. Still waiting for the fire element. 8 of Wands, typical 9 of Wands. Definitely rider weight. 10 of Wands. Nice beach scene. Huge horse. You can hardly see the horse, the knight. Pointy toe shoes there. The king. Now that definitely looks feminine. Now we go to cups. And the cups are depicted with these circles on them. Cups, and of course we have water. That black and white motif. Very pretty. I love the flowers in the background. Really subtle. Seven of Cups. Here we have a cobra, like some splashing, money, air, person, a woman, wings, sort of a city, town, castle. 8 of Cups. Nine of Cups. 10 of Cups. Male. Looks like 2 male children. Kind of whimsical. Page of Cups. Knight of Cups. Interesting depiction of the horse. Queen. With a child. King. And his water. Sword. Ace. Very simple. 2 of Swords. The blindfold, but the swords are not crossed. 3. 4. Of course, these are with air. 5. 6. 9. 10. Got darker. No blood though. Page of Swords. Knight. Queen. A lot of shoes. All in white. And then the king. Again, another feminine king. And that is that. That is the deck. So, my overall feeling is it's a very usable deck. Interesting feminine spin. I mean, that's definitely there, especially with the female characters that are depicted. The back is very strange. It seems like it doesn't, like the artist had nothing to do with the back. It was just random. It would be interesting to see like a checkerboard pattern that reflected in the clothes, or stripes, or something like that. But these circles, it looks lizard-like. And I know, I mean, even on, this card, I mean, there's a lizard, but the pattern doesn't follow that, so I thought it was kind of strange. Very readable deck. Very, seems like it's very, it's definitely, the different size of tarot. You could probably do some, let's see, it's not shuffled, but if I were to break it, let's see, King of Pentacles, obviously, it's, again, very Rider-Waite friendly, so if you're familiar with reading Rider-Waite, you should be looking at some good stuff. The King of Pentacles, and, I did get 2 new decks today because I have a problem and I cannot stop buying decks, and I'm hoping it will subside at some point, but I want to reach a point but then slowly buy new decks as they come out, but it seems like I'm still snatching up decks. So I do not have any Oracle decks, but I do now. I bought the Baleen Oracle, just the standard one. It's out of this one's it's out of print now. It's hard to get, so I bought the little 52 card Oracle Baleen. It came from France today. And another one, which I had completely forgotten about until I saw it last week online, is the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. And this is a set I bought used, and it's in its little box. And I'm interested in looking at it and seeing, how it can, how well it works. This one is out of print, and it's by St. Martin's Press, and I'm not sure when this came out, but there's the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot, and then there's the Da Vinci Tarot, which is completely separate. So I got this one. It's used, but it was fairly cheap, which you would pay for a normal deck. Just like you would pay for the Dreamway Tarot, which retails for about $20 or so. But anyway, that's the Dreaming Way Tarot. Pretty common deck, but definitely worth checking out, especially for the artwork. Thank you for watching.